Okay, so we're going to be looking at adding and subtracting decimals. Now you should not find this too tricky because you know how to add and subtract. You know how to add and take away. It's the very basics of all maths, and it's something that you started doing way back in P1 when you were just a tiny little thing. So here what you see is that the example here, 3.7 add 4.6, is being made into a sum. So 3.7, I'm going to try and draw this. 3.7 is on top and 4.62 is on the bottom. Now you notice that they've got different numbers of decimal places, but that actually doesn't mean that you can't add them together. What you do is you add up the decimal points. You make the decimal points into a column. So 3, 4 and 8 are all in the units column. 7, 6 and 3 are in the tenths column. Oops, that's a rubbishy tenths. And then 2 and 2 are in the thousandths column. You must excuse my writing. I'm actually writing with a mouse, which is extremely difficult. So they're all in columns, and it's the decimal point that tells us which column they're in. So if you put the decimal point in first, then put the number around the decimal point, that makes it much easier. Okay, so here we've got number 1, A to T. Some of these are adding, some of these are taking away, and it asks you to do them mentally. Now I'm going to be honest and say, if you don't think you can do them mentally, so for example K, you've got 3.99 add 4.33, that is actually quite a difficult sum to do in your head. And even more so, 2.7 in L add 5.65. Please feel free to write a sum. So if I was going to do A, I would do 4.8. I need to make it big because I can't write otherwise. 4.8 plus 5.1. Look, my decimal points are lined up, and I add them together and I get 9.9. That is possibly the worst writing you've ever seen. That's how you would add it together. Obviously you would do yours really neatly with squared paper and with a ruler. Now let's look at, so that is how all of 1 is done. If you feel like after tea you've had enough for the day, that's fine, you can do the rest tomorrow. There's a lot of sums there. Up to tea, that's 20 sums. Okay, in 2 we're adding. Okay, these are different tools, and it's basically separating the handle from the blade, I suppose you could call it. So the handle is one length. For example, in A, this is a trowel, it's a garden tool. Or it's not actually, I'll tell you what that's for. That is for plastering. I don't know what it's called, but it's to make plaster on the wall smooth, I think. I'm not into DIY, but I think that's what it is. B is a kind of cutting tool. It does look like a garden tool. It's like shears that you might cut rose bushes with in your garden. And maybe they are all garden tools. C is also a different kind of shears for cutting. Okay, anyway, that's irrelevant. So you're adding the numbers together. 9.7 add 16.2 and so on. And if you want to draw the sum, by all means draw the sum. Okay, finally 3. you read the question to find out. So, for example, combined, that will tell you adding. How much shorter? I'm going to say that that's likely to be a takeaway sum. The C is likely to be complicated. 3 boys get pocket money from their gran. Bob gets 7.30. Fred gets... oh no. So basically, that's going to be adding the 3 numbers together. So B is the only takeaway there. But you're just looking at the numbers, and you can do it mentally if you want. Write it down. Let me say again, if you write the sum down, just show me the sum as it is. Don't rub it out or pretend that you haven't done the sum. It doesn't make you look bad writing a sum, okay? I'm sure I've told you many times that as you get older, you can get the points for writing the sum down even if you get the final answer wrong. I should also tell you that if you write the sum down and the answer is wrong, it might be that you've copied the number from the book wrong, and therefore the answer is going to be wrong, and I can see that and I'll mark it right. However, if you just write the answer, I don't know where you've gone wrong. I'm not saying you have to write the sums, okay? It's your choice. It isn't bad to write the sums. I think for a lot of these, I would probably write the sums too. Okay, let me know how you got on.